To you guys and bring you my Congressman Brian Mast. Yes, sir. Button up, dude.
So I've had the opportunity over the last almost 2 years to hear the President speak numerous times about the things that we are winning on. I've heard him speak in the White House. I've sat with him there. I've had the opportunity to be with him at numerous occasions where he's presenting Medal of Honors to our veterans. I've had the opportunity to spend time with him down here in Florida. And I think really an amazing chance to get to see firsthand the way that he thinks and the way that he works on things and his drive. And just like everybody else, we get to see the results of that. And I've been really proud to hear him speak constantly from Washington about the results that policies have had on this nation, on jobs, on the economy, on everything relating to everybody's life. But I wanted to speak about specifically this evening is how that winning affects us here in our community. What that literally looks like for each and every one of you when we talk about the winning that's going on in Washington with the President and the work that we do in Congress and the work that they sometimes get done in the Senate. They call it the place that good bills go to die because we sent about 500 bills over there and they've passed about 50 of them. So we call it where good bills go to die. But when you talk about the President's work on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, cutting taxes, that was his statement. He said, don't call it Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Don't call it tax reform. He said, you got to call it tax cuts. Otherwise, nobody gets what you're talking about. When you talk about his work on tax cuts, what does that look like for us here? 70% of our community, the community that I represent, 70% of the community that I represent already takes the standard deduction on taxes. We doubled the standard deduction. That's benefit for 70% of our community when we took that standard deduction from $6,000 to $12,000, from $12,000 to $24,000. That's real money. That's not crumbs. That's dollars in the wallet of every person. That's our neighbors, our people that we see at Publix, our people that we see at the gas station. In our community here, we have 42,000 families that take the child tax credit for 1, 2, 3, 4, however many children they have in their household. They take the child tax credit for those children. That child tax credit doubled under the tax package that we passed. Doubled. So for every one of those families, that's not gross. That's an extra $1,000 for every child when they go out there and file their taxes in April. When you look at what's going on with taking the taxes down on the corporate tax rate to 21%, we now have the systemic growth of jobs that our country hasn't seen in decades. New York Times went out there and said they ran out of words to say how good jobs numbers really are. And that was from the Times. That's the effect that it has on our community. If somebody in our community is drug-free and willing to go out there and bust their butt, I can point them right now to half a dozen different jobs where they could start tomorrow at $15 an hour with benefits. I can point them toward jobs where they can start $50,000 a year with benefits tomorrow if they're willing to go out there and work hard. That's the opportunity that Americans want. If they're willing to work hard and they're willing to go out there and put themselves out there, they just want the opportunity to succeed, and that's what we're getting out of this administration, and that's what everybody needs to be proud about. You want to talk about the way that this affects everybody's work out there, the way that it affects people on Social Security and Medicare, more people getting out there into the workforce, more people getting higher wages into the workforce. What does that mean for everybody on Social Security and Medicare? Those are the taxes that are paying in the payroll taxes, that are paying for those programs for each and every person. So what's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is the Democrats that are coming to us and saying, we want to have Medicare for all. Medicare for All means adding 275 million people to the rolls of the 55 million people that are already on Medicare in an absolutely unfunded way, instead of what we're doing, which is adding dollars to the payroll taxes so that those programs can last in perpetuity, so nobody ever has to worry about their Social Security check coming in the mail, never has to worry about their health care being taken care of on Medicare. That's how it affects each and every person in our country. Every one of you pays taxes. And when you pay taxes, you want those dollars spent in a responsible way. How does what the President's doing on border security affect each and every one of you? When you pay taxes every single year, our nation spends about $14 billion with a B every year on southern border security that by the government's own estimate is only about 30% effective. So every single year the government spends that on security that's barely effective, knowing that people are still coming into our country illegally, and we still do that year after year after year. And finally we have a president that says he wants to secure our border. He wants to end chain migration. He wants to end visa lottery. Those are his pillars. That's what he wants to get done. And we're going to work with him to get that done. This is what we need to be proud about, because when you talk about building a southern border wall, my simple Army math tells me this. We spend $14 billion a year on that every single year. Well, if we could spend $25 billion one time, get that wall done, not have to spend that year after year, here's the benefit. A border wall does its job every single day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It doesn't matter who's president or how they want to go out there and enforce immigration law. That wall does its job every single day. That's why it's important. It's important because it makes dollars and cents sense with your tax dollars. That's why it matters to you here personally, for your security, because the reality is, it is the right in each and every one of you to be protected by your government that you are a citizen of, the nation that you are a citizen of. It's your right to be protected by, no matter the situation that anybody else comes from. It's not anybody else's right to come into our country uninvited, without an invitation. That is nobody else's right. These are the things that we fight. We have a president that is willing to go out there and say, we are going to respect and recognize our friends, and we are not going to give hundreds of billions of dollars to those who call themselves our enemies. We're going to put those sanctions back on Iran. We're going to out there and these are the things that matter to you. These matters for your tax dollars. This matters for your safety, for your security. That's why I'm proud of the work that's being done out there. The last point that I want to make on the things that everybody should be proud about that's going on, it's our veterans.
Yes.
And everybody gets why I talk about that. It's close to my heart. When we talk about our friend here, served this nation, flying a jet, World War II, flying an aircraft in World War II, defending each and every one of us, his brothers in arms, whether they were in Midway, whether they're somewhere over North Africa, or they were somewhere in Europe, our veterans in here that served in Korea, our veterans in here that served in Vietnam,
Yes, right.
our veterans that served in Panama, Kosovo, Bosnia, Grenada, the Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, somewhere in between. You were willing to give absolutely everything that you have in defense of this country, because that's how much you love this place. And you deserve to be taken care of by your country for your willingness to go out there. And what has this administration done for you? They said this: we're going to go out there and we're going to make sure that you get the health care that you need. And it doesn't matter where you get it. If you get your best health care from the VA hospital, then go there and get your best health care from the VA hospital. If you get your best health care from some doctor that's operating a mile down the road from where you live, then go there and get your best health care from there. But we're not going to make you wait months. We're not going to make you wait years. We're not going to have you sit on some wait list where somebody lies and says you're actually working your way towards the front of the line where you're actually not. You're going to get the care that you earn, the care that you deserve, the care that you need to make sure that you are taken care of. That's this administration.
Yeah.
That's what we've been working on. We're going to go out there and say that it doesn't matter when you serve. If you need a caregiver in your home, regardless of when that was, you're going to get the caregiver in your home to make sure that you're taken care of. If you're out there waiting for a pension or a claim or something to go through the VA that has typically taken years and years and years for people to get resolved, we're going to open up more avenues, more doors for you to go out there and do that. That's the VA's new RAMP program, so that you can get that done, you can get that answer, you can get that brought to being resolved. That's what matters to you all. This is how the policies of this administration affect you directly in your life, not just from what the words that are being said in Washington, D.C. So I'm proud of the work that's going on there in Washington because of the way it affects people individually. Because of the way that it goes out there and it makes your life better. Because of the way you get to keep more money in your pocket. Because of the way the veterans in your family, who are your kin, whether they're your son or daughter, whether it was you yourself, or whether it was your parent or your grandparent, the way that you can be assured that they get taken care of. That's why I'm proud of everything going on, that this president is supporting, that we're working on Congress, because we are trying to affect your life every single day. And the difference in how we affect your life every single day is this. Are we going to do it with more Uncle Sam in your life, or are we going to do it with less Uncle Sam in your life? Those are the distinct directions that we have a choice in today. There's one side that absolutely believes the root of everything in your life is what the government does in your life. And there's the rest of us that know the truth. That the root of everything that is great in your life is your willingness to go out there, your opportunity to go out there, to bust your butt, to have the opportunity every single day to wake up and know that your opportunities are only limited by your willingness to go out there and try to succeed and drive to succeed and do every single thing that you can, because that's what America guarantees you. That's what we're going to continue to guarantee. That's our nation. That's what we love about this place. And that's what's going to continue to last because of this administration. And that's why I love it. And that's why I'm proud of it. I thank you all for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about this. It is an honor. It's an honor every single day, every single moment that I get to serve you in Congress. I take it every single second with the utmost seriousness. There's not one moment that I take it for granted. And I always tell people, it's like the military. I loved the Army. That doesn't mean that I loved every second of it. And this is the same way. I love doing this because I get to serve you. Because I get to go out there and represent you and represent our communities, whether it's Royal Palm Beach, whether it's Palm Beach Gardens, whether it's West Palm Beach, whether it's Hope Sound or Stewart or Palm City or Port St. Lucie or Fort Pierce. I love it because the people here that I get to fight for, the issues that you care about, the histories that you come from, that's what makes me love it, is the things that I get to do on your behalf. So thank you for letting me do it on your behalf. I wish you all.
And we certainly know, ladies and gentlemen, who we're going to be voting for, don't we? Well,